Hey, everybody. Yeah, I know this is going to be awkward, a little awkward, but it's important. And so I'm just going to power through. A lot of stuff I want to say, I think, is pretty important and helpful. So just give me a second and I will give you the update. It's going to be pretty brief. It's going to be a pretty short stream today. I just want to update you on what I've been working on because well, basically, look, if you read what I wrote on Twitter where I talked about doing actual actions to fight this, and then it's been, a month and a half, 2 months, if I was someone who cared and like saw that.
Sorry, really quickly, but don't you think the reason that he's even responding in such an impactful way is because he has a group of people around him who would call out on the BS if he did? Dude, people like Fedmeister exist, okay? Don't make me pull out the video. There are so many people who commit massive fuck ups on the internet, and they're just like, well, guys, I went on a vacation and I got a dog. Can you guys forgive me now? I know I was climbing into that woman's bed without her consent or permission, but like, please forgive me. I want to play Week of Legends, please. Like, there are so many, and like, you have to understand also, it is so easy, especially for male content creators, not just, to be clear, not just male content creators, female content creators as well, but I see it more often and happen more often with male content creators, where it feels like there are a lot of male content creators that have audiences that are so ride or die simp that like, they don't care. Like, they just don't call people out on their bullshit ever. And it's really sad because they get such huge egos that they just assume that like what I did wasn't that bad because all these people still like me. Well, I honestly, like, I'm fine because I still have all these viewers. And it's like, just because some, like, dude, Trump exists. How many people support Trump? Like, they're not right, man. Just because a lot of people support you doesn't mean that you're right, The amount of content creators that have done literal scams and still get viewers is crazy. It's really sad. And I'm also really respectful of and happy that all the people were willing to give him a chance and help him with this project. Generally, yeah. And to be clear, yeah, I need to call out the fact that like, oh dude, Fed was so gross, he put so much effort into trying to turn it around on Pokey, actual slime. That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, dude. Genuinely most disgusting thing I ever seen. I have nothing but respect for the women who have been helping him because I can't imagine that it was easy.
From someone I cared about and saw the apology, I would want to see a follow-up, right? I think you'd want to see some kind of follow-through and not just silence because then you don't know if anything's being worked on. So I just want to update on the actions being taken, show you how whether or not it's been effective, and tell you what the plan is next. Okay? So I'm going to move quickly. Please don't, just let me progress through this and then we can get back to it. So high level, I'm just going to cover everything in the past month and a half that I've been working on because I've been working on it pretty much every day. Got like a little journal going and been working with a variety of people.
And also, I don't know why. I don't know if I could pinpoint. It doesn't feel like the way that he's talked about it in this stream and in the clips that I've seen. It feels like he's talking about it not as like a way to brag and be like, yeah, I'm a pretty nice guy, man. Look at all this stuff that I did. It feels like he's saying, hey, I just want to give you guys an update on everything that I've been working on and how everything's been going and what we've been doing. We've been doing this, we've been doing that, like there is no like gross attitude along with it.
Reporters, technologists, researchers, women affected, Twitch themselves. I'm trying to work with everyone I can. So I definitely stand by what I said on Twitter, but the live stream apology that I did was really terrible. Really, it just awful. Sorry about it. It was really, really bad.
I mean, even the fact that he's talked about the fact that his apology did not look good, that he's holding himself accountable. You guys are lucky. You will never experience this emotion. Chat, have you ever had to apologize to someone you really didn't want to apologize to? Or did you ever have a teacher that made you apologize to someone else in front of the class? Has it ever just been like so embarrassing and just so, like you ever feel so called out and everyone's just staring at you while you admit that you're wrong? It's tough. I have so much respect. I have so much respect for people who can call out when they were wrong. Those teachers are committing child abuse, yeah. I could not imagine the lack of ego that you would have to get on and say, that apology was really bad. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I was way too emotional to be making an apology video. That was my mistake. Sorry. I'm really sorry about that. And you just know thousands of people who would have been on your side, people who would have said that it was good. You have to tell them, no, I don't think it was good. And that is hard. I'm not saying that like we should grovel at his feet. I'm just saying I respect it.
I wanted to start from the beginning. I wanted to go back to about a week after the whole thing happened and just talk you through about the last month of what I've been working on. But I wanted to give briefly a moment and just say that I really apologize for the last time I was live. That live stream was terrible. Ari and I had been up since 2 a.m. just mainlining LSF comments, and my brain was just total TV static. Like I wasn't thinking, I was rambling, and I just apologized. It was bad. So I don't want to dwell on that, but I feel like it needed to be said. So, okay, it's about a week after, right? It's a week after the event. And the first thing I did was I wired Morrison Rothman about $60,000 to cover any woman on Twitch who wanted to use their services, their legal services, for DMCA takedowns or reputation management. That's only step one, and that's just money. That's not a huge deal, but I just want to just how it started. And that was because Cutie has worked with them for a very long time. She recommended them to all the women involved and then told me. So I just covered to make sure anyone who was using it, I think it's baseline, anyone who's using it is not financially impacted. But the important thing is that now I had a connection in with Morrison Rothman. So I was able to ask questions and just see what the process is for takedowns and actually learn more about how this process works. So you can see if we can help or make it better or do anything like that. And I started to learn a lot about things I was very naive or uninformed about. So then around the same time, this is about a week after everything that happened, I got a DM from a woman named Genevieve O, who is a leading researcher in the fight against deepfakes. She's worked with New York Times, BBC, Washington Post, a whole bunch of people on stories covering online predation and deepfakes, etc. She's the real deal. She's an incredibly accomplished woman. And in an incredible stroke of luck, really, really lucky, she was a viewer. She watched Marketing Monday.
Also, thank you for the raid and BigUbot. Welcome, raiders. Welcome.
So she reached out a week after everything sort of died down a little bit and basically said she believes in the sincerity of my apology, which is crazy given how bad that apology was. And then she said, if you're serious about helping, I can help you get up to speed, which is awesome. That's an incredible kindness, like you would not believe. She could easily have written me off, and she didn't, and it blew me away. So Ari and I were reading her DM in the airport, and we were just, tearing up, and it meant a lot to us. So of course I say yes. And she sends me this 20-page Google Doc that she's compiled, where she's worked with all these reporters that cover like everything about the rise of deepfakes. And on the flight back, I read through this whole thing back to front 3 times. And I'll be honest with you, I immediately get depressed. Immediately. I read this whole thing, and I'm just in the worst mental state of my life, because it is a much bigger problem than I was aware of. This stuff has been going on since 2017, and it's gotten worse and more prolific every single year. So like in 2017, 2018, you need to be like a hardcore technologist and have a ton of like computing power to create this kind of stuff. And nowadays, an average person using App Store apps can create it. And it's become wide more prolific. And there's a quote in her document in one of the articles that's linked in there that really stuck with me. And it's from back in 2018, and it's from Scarlett Johansson, who literally gave up trying to fight this stuff in 2018 and said, it's a lost cause because the internet is a vast wormhole of darkness that eats itself. So obviously not the most bright, cheery thing to read. It rings true, but it's pretty depressing because obviously Scarlett Johansson has a lot more money and influence than I do. And she gave up in 2018 when the problem is way smaller than it is now. So my first thing I do is I focus my scope a bit. All right. I'm not going to.
And yeah, like in this story, like I think there's a very big difference between actively, and this is just going to be my opinion. I think, chat, you guys can disagree. I think that there is a big difference between saying like, okay, well, I'm going to donate $50,000 to a women's shelter or something, or like I'm going to donate $50,000 to help women in domestic abuse households or whatever. I think there's a huge difference between saying that versus reaching out to these domestic abuse centers and being like, how do I help? And I want to be educated. I want to be informed and I want to help. Yes, I will give money. I want to know how else I can help. I'd have money. That's not a problem. I want to be educated. There's a very big difference between like using your personal time, because you don't understand, chat. Like for streamers, time is one of the most valuable resources. I wish I would pay anything to just get an extra 12 hours a day. If I could do that, oh my God, time is so valuable. It's so valuable for content creators. It's why most content creators, when you message them and they don't reply, it's not that they hate you. It's not that they think that you're stinky. It's that they just don't have any time. They never have time. And it's really sad. And to be able to say, nope, I'm going to fuck streaming. I'm going to step away from streaming and I am going to go and speak to people that are personally impacted by this, that personally use their time to make the internet a better place. And of course, I'm going to donate money. Of course, I'm going to help financially where I can, but I want to understand the harm I did. And most people are not actually willing to like learn about the problem and learn more about how they're causing harm. Most people, they want forgiveness and they'll do anything to get that temporary forgiveness. And that is a huge difference. It's a huge difference. I have a lot of respect. I think this is really cool. And I mean, I think it tracks. A lot of people used to call him like one of the nicest streamers they knew. So like, I think it's really cool. Oh my God, this is such a good point. This is such a good point. Jesus Christ. I have to point this out. I'm sure Atrioc also has a large young male demographic. So the influence of them on them of him taking these steps is a benefit too, which is really cool. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about the fact that like his largely male audience sees him own up to the mistake, sees him listen to victims, sees him try and fix the situation. Like he can't undo what he did, but he can at the very least try and make it better. And that is so huge. It's such a huge difference from that versus like, well, I didn't do anything wrong.
Good on this mailman for doing the footwork. Finally, one of the good ones has emerged. Keckle.
And this is all we can ask from people. Yeah. So I have a lot of respect. I think it's really, really
You know, the broad problem is crazy. What are things that like I can control, that people in my influence can control? How can we actually help and make better the day-to-day like experience? And so using Genevieve's doc and my own research, I tried to find like the bright spots in the fight against this type of content, like this type of negative content. And I do. And I find out there's this one group of people who have been way more successful at combating this type of stuff. It's OnlyFans creators. And it made total sense. When I looked into it, OnlyFans creators were way ahead of the curve on like the best practice and stuff on fighting this kind of thing.
And it makes sense for them because it's literally their job, right? Which I know he's saying right now and I'm pre-watching, but
they have a direct financial incentive. A big OnlyFans creator could make $100,000 in a month on legitimate sex work. And so finding a way for them to stop unlicensed leaks or deepfakes or anything is a small expense for them, and it directly helps their business. So I started looking at what technology they use. At the same time, and this is like in February, I was trying to find new work for my editors and my staff, because obviously I wasn't creating. So, and my income, goes to zero. Their income is impacted as well. So I'm trying to help. I love everybody on the team. I'm trying to make sure they're set up. So I'm reaching out to different YouTubers and I'm trying to find work for the editors. I'm trying to find work for my staff and just giving recommendations where they're needed. And at the time, my highest paid employee is Paid the Musician. Awesome, talented guy. And I love the guy and I want him to do well. So he expresses interest in this role managing social media at Truffle, which you might know is like the browser app for creators. Do social media for them. And I talked to the CEO of Truffle, Austin, and I basically just tell the truth that pay is
Austin. I know what you are. Sorry. Bad time to make a joke. Austin was tweeting about his homophobic cat, and I had a certain emotion. Mr. Show, is that you? Yeah.
Is godlike. He's amazing to work with. He's incredible. He's an asset to your team. Pay gets the job. This is awesome because now Pay is financially set. He has a job he wants to do. So this is where another stroke of luck happens. Austin messages me later after that and he goes, hey, it's going really well with Pay. Also, I met this investor guy. He's invested in this other company out of Ireland that is fighting deepfakes and that I should talk to him. So I get introduced to this guy, Dan Purcell, over at Caritas DMCA. And that's when things start to really get moving. That's when I start to really get some momentum and feel excited about what's going on. Like I actually feel like I'm helping. So I meet Dan Purcell and I have a lot of long talks with him about his technology. It's basically a technology that uses bots and AI to fight bots and AI at scale, right? So I meet with him and it automatically flags improper use of your likeness, dangerous keywords, and it fills out and sends DMCA notices instantly. So we begin to run a test. We're like, all right, we need to run a test on if we can fight this stuff for an average Twitch creator, like a woman on Twitch. And the problem is we need permission. We need them to work with us. And as you might expect, not a lot of people want to work with me. So I ask everyone that I can, right? And the person that responds is Maya. And I got to tell you, I mean, this story is full of examples of people being incredibly kind when they don't have to be. Maya's response to the apology I sent and the request to work with her is one of the nicest things I've ever read in my life. It blew me and Ari away. It was incredibly, incredibly, incredibly kind. And she gives me a chance, you know what I'm saying? She gives us a chance to actually help, which is like just awesome. She actually gives me a chance and she lets me start the test, which is awesome. Which is like it just blows me away. So we start the test. In 12 hours, we got 512 things, like 10 times the amount of things delisted and 1,000 plus things DMCA takedown requested. And this is for a cost that is probably 1/10. I'm paying it, but I'm just saying it's literally for like 1/10 the cost. So the test goes really well, like really well. Like I'm actually, it's the first time I feel like finally like I'm helping. So it's good. It's like we actually take on more stuff for Maya than she was getting before. Like she was getting a better deal. So I take the test results from Maya and I show them to Cutie. So she sees the Maya results and she's like, all right, I'll do the test. So we run the test with Cutie and it goes even better. We literally get like 700 things taken down in a day. Like just night and day, like way, way, way more stuff taken down. And then Cutie, because she's like she's the queen of Twitch. I mean, everybody looks up to Cutie. Everyone knows Cutie. Cutie introduces me or connects or gets permission from like everybody else involved, like 19 other women. So now we can go back and sign all of them up. And again, this is all free on their. No, there's not a cost on their part. I'm covering it all, or Dan is helping. Like we're not. There's no cost on their part. If they want to go long term, I mean, eventually, I don't have infinite money, but for now, for them to give it a trial and see if it works, no cost. So we signed up 19 women. Now this all hasn't gone live yet. Like this is all relatively recent. It takes a few days per person, right? But we got Pokemon went live 2 days ago, and again, an incredible amount of takedowns. The internet's a sad place, right? And there's no way to get rid of this stuff permanently forever. There's no silver bullet solution. But if you can get it delisted from Google and increase the friction of finding it, then that helps you with brands. That helps you with like your family Googling your name. It helps, like, it's just better for, it's better for reputation management. It's better for your life. Like it makes your life better and easier. So that's an actual concrete help, right? And what's cool is because this is a bot, it's not like if they try to re-upload, it's instantly flagged and it gets taken down again. And eventually Google learns, like, because Caritas is a trusted Google partner, they're part of Google's partnership program, which means their requests have never been malicious. Like everything they request has been actually worthy of being taken down by Google. Google gives them priority on takedowns and delisting. So eventually Google just learns to just not index this stuff. So it's like actually makes a long-term effect. So that's the impact on the technology side. We're setting up all the women. Again, we rolled out Pokemon 2 days ago. We have like 15 more to go. I will continue giving updates. It's something I'm continuing to work on. We're going to make progress on. We're going to learn from. I'm sure there's going to be some errors somewhere to fix it, but like we're seeing incredible early results and we're trying to make it better. So that's a start. And again, I'm covering it. I budgeted like $40,000 on top of the 60 to help cover this. It's a cheaper thing, but probably more people and more time is going to use it. Then what's next? All right. So that's the technology side. On the other side, I'm still working with Genevieve. And when I say I'm working with Genevieve, what I means is I'm helping in whatever small ways I can. She's incredibly talented. She's at the forefront of her field. Like she's doing things like finding the exact, like tracing the crypto payments and like the Bitcoin wallets of all these fucking offenders. And like, we're going to get like a huge index of that and see if we can get it like published or like she's doing some incredible stuff. I'm helping in whatever small ways I can. She's way ahead of the game. All right. She's doing world changing work. But one of the things we've done is we've tracked one of these major offending sites, which is basically like an OnlyFans, but with no legitimate clients. And they're based in the UK. We found that they're based in the UK, which is about to pass much stricter deepfake laws this year. Now, America, again, some people say like you should focus on legislation. And I'll be honest with you. I've heard Hassan has mentioned something to AOC. That's awesome. Getting her aware and maybe something, but I am very pessimistic about the ability of the government to move even remotely quickly on this stuff. Because they're still like, 5 years behind on crypto regulation. They're just, I feel very unlikely that's a great solution. Legislation takes a very long time and it's unlikely to even be smart legislation. So, but I do think, whatever ways we can move that forward, I think that's incredible and helpful. But I want to find ways that are more like direct and impactful to people affected on Twitch in the short term. So, we tracked one of these websites in the UK, as mentioned, and we're going to try and work with the BBC to get something published about this website around the time of those laws, see if we can get pressure to get them taken down. That's like one of our longer term goals. Also, if you are a creator on Twitch, if you're female, male, NB, whatever, if you're dealing with this kind of problem and you're lost or confused, or you just don't want to get overcharged, or you just want to know more about what your options are, I am happy. I'm personally happy to catch you up on what I know, help however I can, including possibly financially. I have to make sure my own, I don't have a big income right now. So, but however I can help, like if you need help on it, I know a lot about it now. I can connect you with the right people and I think we can help. All right. And as a validating sign of that, this has been really cool. Just a day ago, or maybe 2 days ago, someone who I have not spoken to at all, and it wasn't part of this whole situation.
I'm trying not to interrupt because I want to let him finish, but this is way beyond, I feel like, what anyone would have ever expected. This is an amazing situation. Like, this is really, really amazing that it's not easy to admit that you're wrong. It's not easy to tell your audience not to defend you, right? On Twitch, it's very easy to rely on your audience to like be there for you, because it sucks to have the entire internet against you, and to tell your viewers, do not defend my actions. That takes a lot. It takes a lot. And the fact that he actually, I honestly just expected him to unceremoniously return. This is amazing. That's really cool. I don't know. I think it's really cool. And the fact that he like educated himself on it, that it doesn't seem like he gives a fuck about just getting points, that he seems like he genuinely feels remorse. I think it's really cool. I think this goes a bit better than further. This is a responsibility actually making a change to a problem he contributed to. Yeah, that's really cool. And the fact that he's using his platform to educate his male audience and tell them this is the correct response. When people tell you what you did was not okay, you listen and you try and improve and you try and make right what you made wrong. That's an amazing thing to do. That's really, really cool. I have so much respect for Atrioc. I have so much respect for him because I think most people just expected him to take like accountability and just to be like, I fucked up, my bad, sorry, and maybe donate some money or something. That he poured so much of this. I mean, at one point he's saying like, I haven't been making any money because I haven't been streaming, so I don't know how much financial support I can give, but I can try if anyone else needs to come out. Like he didn't need to say that. He could have just continued to partner with like big streamers. The fact that he's opened up his platform that way, it's really cool. It's very, very cool. I have a lot of respect for it.
Reached out to me and it was Amaranth. Amaranth followed me on Twitter. She had heard about the work I was doing. I guess somehow I had not spoken to her, and she asked if I could help her get stuff taken down. And that's really validating because that means it must have been working for someone, and then the word spread or whatever. I don't know, but she reached out. So now I'm working. We're working with her, and so we're getting her set up. It'll be a few days or whatever, but I think we can get her started and get stuff taken down. So I'm feeling really good about that. Like I think, and again, that applies to anyone, not just anyone who thinks that this is a problem for them and thinks that I could be able to help. I'm happy to do it. Legitimately happy to do it. I would love to help. So yeah, those are the main technology stuff, and then the research stuff with Genevieve, and then in general, if there's like this is a little more embarrassing or like a little stuff I'm uncomfortable about, but if there is anything like, so what I've heard is sometimes news organizations won't write a story about this stuff to help put pressure on like legislators and anything because they think it's either too depressing or boring or there's not a hook. And so the idea is apparently if I give some sort of quote because my story is so, I don't know, interesting or salacious or whatever, that it's spread and viral, that they might be more likely to write it. So I'm considering that for the BBC thing because it might help us get a story that could take an actual website down. But obviously I don't want to like dwell on it for my life. I mean, it's whatever. So anyway, those are the 3 areas I'm helping. It's technology, research, and then any news articles or coverage to help push legislators. And then, if possible, I'll talk to anyone who has connections politically that can make things happen, but I don't have any personal ones, and I'm not super excited about the speed of it. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to keep giving updates. I also have one other big project. So again, the $60,000 that I spent at Morrison, not all of it was used. There's some left over. And rather than get that back, they offered to refund it to me. I said I would rather use it for something else. So we brainstormed some ideas because, again, they've been very helpful. Even though I don't think direct lawyer is the best way to go for DMTA takedowns, I think there is many uses of it. And one of them is this big idea we have. I don't even want to talk about it now because I think it is, it's better. I think it can impact the results, but it's about Reddit. And I think we have a way to do some serious good on Reddit and help, again, increase the friction of finding this stuff and the ease that creators can take it down. So we're working on Reddit. So I will give an update on that when I think it is appropriate, but that is what we're working on with the rest of my money. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Again, I know I fucked up. I really do. I know I fucked up. And also I know I'm a public figure. So I really don't even, I get it. I get, if you do something bad stuff should happen to you. I believe that. Like I am not feeling like I am the victim here but I just want you to know that I sincerely feel bad about it. I'm trying to help. I'm like every day I'm trying to help. Big project. So again, the $60,000 that I spent.
No, we haven't covered the Sneeko thing. I just wanted to let him finish.
Not all of it was used.
I think we listened
There's some left over. And rather than get that the creators can take it down. So we're working on Reddit. So I will give an update on that when I think it is appropriate, but that is what we're working on with the rest of my money. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Again, I know I fucked up. I really do. I know I fucked up. And also I know I'm a public figure. So I really don't even, I get it. I get, if you do something bad stuff should happen to you. I believe that. Like I am not feeling like I am the victim here but I just want you to know that I sincerely feel bad about it. I'm trying to help. I'm like every day I'm trying to help. And I think we're making progress. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I got no other major update than that. I just wanted to let you guys know what I've been working on to keep you in the loop because I said I would do some actions and I wanted people to know that I wasn't bullshitting. Like I was serious about it.
That is very cool. And I'm actually really happy that we watched that. I'm really, really, really happy that we watched that. It's crazy that the streamer that got in hot water for the least bad action wound up going the extra mile to make it right. Yeah, that's really cool. I have a lot of respect. I can't imagine how I imagine Atrioc has a lot of good people in his life. I imagine that he has a lot of good people in his life that helped steer him in that direction. I'm very happy for him, because a lot of people just have yes men in their corners. And so when they do something shitty, their yes men are just like, fuck those people, fuck them. They're going to be unsatisfied no matter what you do. And it seems like he actually has genuine people in his corner telling him, yeah, you fucked up. Let's make it right, which is really cool. If Cutie and Maya are even helping him, then what more can we say? Cutie was saying before she didn't even want to talk to him. It's good to see. Yep.
Notice he only streamed long enough to update and didn't go into a normal stream after. Miz should take some notes. Cheer 200.
It's not that people think that no one can be redeemed. Although there are some crazy Twitter users, like, do we all agree there are some insane Twitter users that you can commit the most mild crime? Like, your crime was that you said the word dog and people think that that's AAVE. And Twitter people will be like, you are never forgiven. You should rot in hell. The gulags are waiting for your blood. And it's like, whoa! Oh my God. Whoa, chill. It's not that deep. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Denims, the dog word.